You know what? Yeah, screw it. I'm just gonna say it. But first off, I'm glad that there's other people who feel the same way as me regarding the Final Fantasy VII Remake series, and I'm just gonna be honest about my feelings. So, this is like my letter to the directors and developers of the game. If this video does reach them or him particularly, Naoki Hamaguchi, although I am not hoping that this is what's gonna happen in Revelation or how this remake series is gonna conclude. This is just me being selfish, basically. Yeah, why can't we have the series conclude and not follow Advent Children and Dirge of Cerberus as canon? Maybe this time we can, I don't know, cancel out Advent Children and Dirge of Cerberus after Revelation. And this is not to disrespect the OG FF7 as it's awesome. The original timeline, series, or compilation is awesome in its own right. But the thing is, the remake series is basically set in a different timeline if it wasn't obvious already. So, the thing that I'm thinking of, and a small part of me, yeah, is hoping by the end of Revelation, it will not lead to the events of Advent Children. Like, let the OG timeline be its own thing, and desperately hoping that with the help of the multiverse or multiple worlds or changing fate and destiny, Aerith will be somehow revived or alive as we progress through Revelation, or maybe by the end of Revelation. I have no idea how it's gonna turn out. Now, while I know that there are people who think that Aerith needed to die, as yeah, I am aware it's a major plot point in FF7, what was the point then of adding the multiverse part or changing fate and destiny if you're just gonna kill off Aerith? Again, what? Just to keep the interest alive for FF7 Remake? I don't know, maybe to give the players and fans false hope that her fate will change, despite her being the one to say all these things about fate and destiny. Hasn't Cloud and everybody else gone through enough the trauma of losing pretty much everything? Regardless of all that, you mean to say that after showing what Aerith went through as a child, how she was basically, well, helpless, trapped, ignored, and maybe even manipulated for the majority of her life, she can't stay alive and be happy? I know she's a Cetra, obviously, and maybe that's a way to represent how there are people out there who's also had tragic lives. But the thing is, this is a fantasy scenario, hence Final Fantasy. Why can't people have an ending in a fantasy scenario wherein it would give them a glimmer of hope in life? With the world that we live in today, this is my escape from reality. This is a lot of people's escape from reality. So why can't we have a good ending where everyone's alive and happy? Why can't my escape from reality have Aerith alive? For me, and this is gonna sound controversial as, well, this is only my opinion, but for me, Aerith didn't need to die for the plot of this remake. I feel like they could have easily made a compelling plot without killing Aerith off. And while people will argue that the ending of Advent Children is beautiful, it's a closure for Cloud, like his character arc for Final Fantasy VII. It's sad. No matter how you justify it, it's sad. Thinking of what could have been a long and happy life for Aerith. Watching that shit as a kid, I think legitimately gave me depression. And as an adult, the ending of Rebirth um, gave me another dose of depression. Fun. And I guess what's giving me hope that Earth will be revived or somehow be alive in Revelation are some of the Sky Will dates in Rebirth, wherein it's mentioned about saving Aerith, and especially Zack's line before getting separated from Cloud, save her. It's also really important to include Tifa's line in the OG FF7, which just hits you so damn hard. I don't think she wanted to die at all, but was planning on coming back all along. She always used to talk about the next time. She talked about the future more than any of us. I think Aerith looked forward to tomorrow and the future more than anyone. She must have had many, many dreams. And you're telling me that you still don't have the heart to keep her alive. And yeah, again, this is just me being selfish. This is my letter to the developers and directors of the game, and to the fans who are like me, who are attached and cares deeply for the characters of FF7, especially Aerith. So I don't want to be optimistic for Revelation, but I guess we'll see.